All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate it. All those that reach out to the program as well, that's especially appreciated. Reaching out and supporting our show partners, our expert contributors, means the world to us. 727-263-3707. You can call or text that line, 727-263-3707. Of course, if you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, we would love to talk to you as well. Coming up, Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. We're going to talk about property fraud. They now have text alerts where you can sign up online and make sure you don't get your house stolen from underneath you or liens placed on your house. There's a lot that happens in that space. We're going to dive into that here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. 3413 Lake Palermo Road in Waimama. This is a nice property that we've got listed, an executive-style home. This one's in Hillsborough County, 3734 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, Mediterranean-style home. Just a gorgeous layout, beautiful property here. Screened-in pool with a hot tub and an executive-style home at 3413 Lake Palermo Road in Waimama, Florida. Great opportunity. 605 Monterey Avenue, another beautiful property in Clearwater. This is Monterey Avenue in Clearwater. It's a screened-in pool, beautiful layout, great layout here. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2163 square feet, non-evacuation zone, non-flood zone, and just a great opportunity to own real estate. You got a circular driveway, large courtyard in the front, and no neighbor on one side as well. 605 Monterey Avenue in Clearwater. Laid out perfectly for you and your family. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Jennie Restrepo back in studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
My
Glad
pleasure.
to be here again.
Yeah.
And today, as I always do, I post stories on our social media at Insured Title Agency on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And in my research, I found a great story where Property Fraud Alert, so if you haven't heard me speak about that before, Property Fraud Alert is a service primarily offered by your county that allows you to register yourself, your name, and receive alerts or updates if anything becomes filed in the clerk with your name attached to it. And so what does that mean as a homeowner? Well, when you own a property, your deed is recorded, your mortgage is recorded, and so the first step to committing title fraud and attempting to steal your home would be to record a fraudulent deed. And the best protection for you as a homeowner is to be aware of that happening as soon as possible.
Yeah, fraudulent deed. It's interesting that that's just done. In the county, just says, well, it's just submitted to us. We're not going to proofread it. We're not going to check it. We're not going to call anybody to double check and make sure this is legit. It's just recorded.
Correct. And that's a great point, Brandon, is there is no one double checking for accuracy. There's no one double checking to make sure that this person is the right person. There's no one double checking the notary stamp to make sure it's a valid and up-to-date notary stamp. If you electronically file it and pay the filing fees, as far as the county is concerned, you're good to go. So the burden is on the homeowner or the purchaser to ensure that everything is done correctly. And that's why you want to use a reputable title company like Insured Title Agency, even if you're going it on your own and not utilizing an amazing agent like Brandon and his team. You should not forego using a title company because we unfortunately have had customers that have a typo on a quitclaim deed, which is what you usually find when it's connecting from one family member to the next. One typo, and now it has to go to probate. So very important that you make sure that if it's your transaction, that everything is done correctly and accurately, filed properly. But now you own this home, someone else could come in and say, I'm going to steal it. They make it look good. They make the notary stamp look good. They file it, they pay the filing fees, and as far as the county is concerned, I own your home now.
Yeah.
And the only way to reverse it with the limited amount of damages is to catch it as quickly as possible.
Right.
And so here in Florida, we're really focusing on fraud protection, consumer protection, homeowners' rights. And I love that this property fraud alert service is a free service provided by the county. I know for a fact the greater Tampa Bay area is covered. But I've seen Brevard, Broward, other counties on the other side of the state are joining in. So if you're not sure if your county participates, simply Google property fraud alert in your county. I don't know if all of 67, 69 counties in Florida
67, yeah.
are covered, but I do know a lot of the biggest ones are, and certainly here in the Tampa Bay area. So you simply go to the website, type in your name, and you can sign up for text alerts now.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Now you don't even have to worry about something getting lost in your email. You can receive a text alert and find out as soon as possible, so then you can contact one of the show partners that's a real estate attorney and protect your home and get it reversed as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and we're talking with Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency, with that great consumer advocate tip. Like that, Jennie. Good job on that. And when you look at this also from a financial decision, there's companies out there charging hundreds of dollars to essentially do what Jennie just described that you can do for free, thanks to having a well-run state like Florida, thanks to Governor DeSantis and all of our reps that are helping us with that. But property fraud, just go to the county site. Click the fraud. There should be like a fraud department there, a fraud link, and then you're going to sign up for text alerts. Just probably going to put your property address in there, your last name. You're going to verify that it's the right property, and then you'll get text alerts. You'll also put your email. You'll get an email alert. Problem with email, sometimes it goes into spam, though, Jennie.
Yes, right? Yes, and I don't know if you're like me, but you probably get I don't even know how many emails a day, and so. While email is a very effective way to communicate for lots of things, it is cumbersome in other ways because you have spam filters, because you have so many things. That's certainly not the thing that you want to fall through the cracks. And so I advise sign up for those text alerts. It's not going to be cumbersome unless your name is John Smith, and then you maybe want to double think the text alerts. But the great thing is that if it's you and a partner, if there's more than one owner, if you own buildings in the name of your business, go ahead and register every single one of those things, because anytime something is recorded in the clerk's office, you will get a notification and you're able to go and look and see what it is.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, I want to talk about ESG right now too. With while we have Jennie in studio, it's kind of relating to real estate, but it also relates to a two-tier system that we have, not only in the legal system, but also when it comes to real estate and investments. What they're doing is with this ESG. I'm going to play this clip here.
ESG ratings are theoretically supposed to allow investors to invest their money in companies that are having a quote positive societal impact. So why would these companies score so high?
Yeah, that is the question. So this report was published in the Washington Free Beacon, and what it found was that companies like tobacco giant Philip Morris scored an 84. And by contrast, the electric car company Tesla, which you would think would do pretty well on that E, environmental, only scored a 37. Now, that's astonishing when you realize that tobacco farming and production has a very high carbon footprint and causes deforestation and soil erosion and, other negative environmental impacts. And then you look at the S, social. So cigarettes are the #1 cause of preventable death in this country. As the Beacon points out, they kill more than alcohol, illegal drugs, and car accidents combined. And tobacco costs the U.S. an estimated $240 billion a year in healthcare costs.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? So when they started off with these ESGs, they talked about it being a positive societal impact. So you got a company like Philip Morris getting an 84 on their score, which, it's laughable, right? Positive impact. And then you got a company like Tesla, who's, and I'm not a big proponent of these electric vehicles because, you're mining these rare earth minerals, all these different components that go into these batteries. They're being mined in Africa. They're being mined in China by sometimes slave populations. Most of the time, I would think slave populations, with the Uyghur Muslims, etc., in China by the Chinese Communist Party. So the whole electric vehicle thing to me is not quite as helpful as I think some people would like to think. But hey, you tried. You took a step in that direction, maybe. But Tesla gets a score of 37. Could it, I'm just wondering, just asking questions here. Could it be that the founder and the chairman of the board, Elon Musk, just doesn't align with the values of the administration and the powers that be? So maybe they said, hey, let's drop his score. Let's drop that Tesla score down to 37, even though it's an electric vehicle company. So it's interesting. And then how ESG relates to real estate, bringing this all back to real estate, is that they have this E for environmental, S for social, and then G for corporate governance. So it's essentially, on one hand, one acronym here, you have the climate cult, the people that keep saying that the world's going to end and that we're sea levels rising and it's getting warmer, et cetera, man-made. But what happens is now, these big companies, you've got these huge, and when I talk about huge, I'm talking trillions of dollars under management. Companies like BlackRock, companies like Vanguard, State Street, these are institutional investors that are competing. They're getting government favors. They're competing with the homeless or the veteran that maybe is homeless now because he couldn't buy a home, or the first-time buyers who worked hard, went to school, graduated, maybe worked themselves through college, finally got up enough money to put a down payment. But they get beat out by this huge hedge fund, these big institutional investors that are not playing the game necessarily on an even keel, on an even footing. They're having these handouts from the government. So to me, ESG is an evil. It's a very pernicious pattern that's arose, and it should be outlawed. It should be taken away. So institutional investors buying up properties that should normally go to a veteran or a first-time buyer or just a regular, ordinary, tax-paying citizen. Jennie, are you seeing that? Are you hearing about those?
I am not familiar with ESG, but I can say that I attended as a member of the Greater Tampa Realtors Board of Directors. I was able to attend a legislative breakfast where state senators and congresspeople were able to speak to us about some of the initiatives that they passed here in Florida during the last legislative session. And under the Live Local Act, two of the things that stood out to me that I think are positive for actual real people here in Florida is, one, they refunded Hometown Heroes and added the scope of who can qualify for it to include many professions, not just exclusively first responders. So that was refunded. So that program is open and available to people who qualify who are first-time homebuyers. And then they did incentivize investors in a way that I felt was very smart and responsible. So if you are an investor that owns a multi-unit property, let's say it's an apartment building, it's a condo building that has tenants, they have incentivized these owners, these building owners, that if they are offering units at what is considered a fair housing rate to the tenant, then they pay less taxes. And if they make the entire building an affordable housing building, they would pay no tax. And so what I love about that is not only does it incentivize investment and incentivize investors to offer fair housing rates to prospective tenants, it doesn't require corporate-backed, government-backed corporate greed, which is landlords charging whatever they want and then people having to apply for rental assistance, which is essentially siphoning money from the government and handing it over to the investors while they're still charging exorbitant rates of rent for people.
Yeah.
So that was a way to kind of push the system down where investors are incentivized and they're still looking at a good bottom line, but
Right.
tenants are also able to afford places to live in their community through fair housing.
Wow, that's such a great point you make there, Jennie. We're talking with Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. I'm Brandon Rhymes, and so we had Jared Parker, just a very smart young man, intellectual. He spent a lot of time in Tallahassee, up in Tallahassee, and he actually, his firm, Regional Economic Consulting Group, conducted rent control analysis. That, because a lot of times people start screaming, "Oh yeah, we need rent controls. That's what we need." It actually is counterintuitive. The results of that study. They did a study over in Orlando, but it would do exactly what you just described in reverse. It would de-incentivize these investors to go in and build multifamily or affordable housing, because they just know, like, hey, the max I can make here is a number I'm not even attracted to. By the time you take into account I got to buy the dirt, I got to build, I got to take into account all of these higher cost supplies now. But yeah, it's interesting, this whole idea of rent controls and rents.
And I did ask the question, why would we be against rent control? Because controlling how much a landlord can charge for rent protects consumers. Many people who renewed leases looking at in 2022 and 2023 saw $400, $500, $1,000 increase in the rent that they were paying in the previous year. And without any sort of rent control, landlords are well within their legal right to do that at the end of your lease period.
Yeah.
And so in some situations, if you've been renting, now is the time to buy.
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
is the time to buy. And if you're not sure, you need to contact a lender. You can contact the show and find a show partner to help walk you through that process. And maybe you don't qualify today, but get on that plan and get qualified within the next couple of months, because rent is going to keep going up.
Yeah.
But when we have these opportunities where, of course, we want to promote investment and development and construction here in our state, but not at the detriment of our actual citizens. Because
Right.
if we keep building places that no one can afford to live in,
Right.
then that's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So rather than allowing rents to go sky high and then helping people who need help with,
Yep.
with rental assistance, that's helping them, but it's really just lining the pockets of these landlords and allowing them to continue to raise prices and raise prices and raise prices. So incentivizing them in a different way that has a better impact for both sides. I am glad to see that was a direction that
Yeah.
the state was taking.
It's definitely a complex issue.
Certainly.
And it doesn't help when you have these large institutional buyers coming in and snatching up homes that would have traditionally been built or owned by the fireman, the paramedic,
Yes.
the school teacher, et cetera. But we got to take a quick break there. More with Jennie Restrepo when we come back. Insured Title Agency on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to the hotline. We'd love to talk to you, put you in touch with one of our great lenders, title companies, all types of great ways that we can help you here. 727-263-3707, 727-263-3707. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. Brandon Bryan's here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. And we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. And 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin is one of our vacant land parcels. If you thought about a development play, or if you know any builders, developers, it's a great opportunity here. It's waterfront on the Little Manatee River, 23 acres with access to, of course, the Gulf of Mexico. Motivated seller here, 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin. Just imagine if you build some townhomes, condos, maybe even single-family homes, put some boat docks there. I think that would be a winner. 2817 Gulf City Road, Ruskin, Florida. 14 Baywood Drive, another one of our Palm Harbor listings here. Baywood Drive in Palm Harbor. What I love about this property is not only is it gorgeous on the inside, just a great opportunity, lots of completely remodeled home here, wood burning fireplace, but on the community side, you have a boat ramp, community boat ramp. So you've got access to the Gulf of Mexico there. You could park your boat in your yard, drop it in on the weekends, and just enjoy that Florida lifestyle. Get out there and go fishing, maybe catch some grouper, some snook, some redfish. Enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. Check out 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor. Beautiful Pinellas County, 2913 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. And you can see all of our listings, PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
All right, Jennie Restrepo in studio here, Insured Title Agency. And one of the things we're seeing right now, too, Jennie, is this trends. There are some bank-owned properties. You're seeing some foreclosures coming up, not nearly the activity we had back in 08, but, the term buyer beware is out there.
Definitely. And unfortunately, that's part of the realtor code that you learn in school, caveat emptor. It is buyer beware. And when you're out looking for properties, even if you're working with a great agent like Brandon or someone else on his team, make sure you're reading through the fine lines, because not all the listing agents are giving all of the information. So what I'm coming across is in the notes it says, well, this is in probate and it's supposed to be done in August. Okay, first of all, you can't tell the county when they're going to be done with the probate case. Depending on how complicated it takes, these could take years. So if you're a buyer that's going under contract with a question mark at the end of when you're able to close, unless this is an investment property or something like that, perhaps it's not the right fit for you, because there is no way to speed up the probate process. It takes how long it takes.
Yep.
So you can guess at it, but I'm going to also guess that if it's in probate, how does this listing agent even have a correct listing agreement? Who signed it?
Yeah, and
Is
also
the person sorry.
what you look out. Sorry to interject there,
Yeah.
but you look out also for investor flips, because a lot of times these investors, they're not aware of all of the municipality liens, and then you got a code enforcement issue, and then you got to take it up with the city attorney.
Yes.
And now you're dragging on, these closings, and a lot of times, this young family is sitting there in a U-Haul truck, or they're having to live with a family or friend or relative, and or worse, get an Airbnb, VRBO, or a hotel room.
Exactly. You do not want to find yourself in that situation. And so, again, like all of those things, this is why you go through a reputable title company like Insured Title Agency. What we do is we do the research to make sure that when you're purchasing this property, you are buying it free and clear of debts, liens, municipal liens, code enforcement liens, homeowners association liens. That's what we do. We make sure that when you take over the property, that you are getting all of the rights to the property, the correct people have signed, and that you are getting the title with no defects. But, if you look at chain of title and you see a bunch of quick claim deeds, or it's a quick flip, there is a possibility there could be issues. I saw another active listing where it is in foreclosure. So the judge has ordered the auction to happen on the 27th of July. And there's nothing in the listing notes at all about that. So if you're a buyer and you go under contract and you can't close it before July 27th, it could get sold at auction, and you could be finding yourself now, the sellers you thought you were dealing with, that you were under contract with, they don't own it anymore.
Yep.
Your contract is void, and any money that you put into it for inspection, survey, etc., sorry about that.
Yep, you lost it. That's a challenging situation, and the down payment assistance money too, Jenny. That's a big topic too. I mean, there's down payment assistance dollars out there. 30 seconds, back to you.
There are so many options, and the best thing I can say is in 30 seconds, I can't tell you about all of them, but my advice always, 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 contact a great lender. The show has many partners. Talk to a lender. Don't take a guess, not your best friend, not your neighbor. A lender, a licensed mortgage lender, to put your specific situation together and see what you qualify for, because there are a lot of options out there. And if you've been renting, buy. It is time to buy.
Get into home ownership. Jenny,
Absolutely.
How do you want people to connect with you, Jenny?
So you can contact us through the show or on all the socials at Insured Title Agency, or give us a call, 813-855-3585.
All right, good stuff, Jenny. Always great information. Property fraud alert, down payment assistance, buyer beware. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, another great show. We want to thank you for tuning in and supporting the program. Remember, we got the Raise Tickets giveaway on our social media. So go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for another. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.